the last 2 years, but specifically within the last month or so, that there's all of this press about automation. Go in, all in on automation. The future of digital advertising is taking a look at your data in aggregate and creating digital profiles of your buyers and sending them the right ad at the right time and having it be totally cross-functional. It's very exciting. It's something that we're reading about a lot. You can't effectively have the time and the knowledge to update and create ads for each product, test them all the time, move them when your inventory is out of stock, doing things like modeling keyword performance. You can have a million Excel spreadsheets, but at the end of the day, a single human alone can't do that. And these big automation tools are fascinating. They're cool. They can do things like predictive analysis, which is the idea that you can predict how a buyer is going to behave and serve them an ad right at the right time. You know, real-time relevant content. I'm the type of buyer who buys when I am doing this on the web and sending an ad to you. It's very, very cool, but you need a ton of data velocity to make it work. These types of things are generally for the Amazons and the Targets of the world.
And automation is a double-edged sword. For those of you that don't have huge marketing budgets or years of really good data, the thing that people don't talk about a lot in automation is the hardship of what do you do when you've got a lack of data. These algorithmic solutions can be great for somebody that's got hundreds of thousands of clicks a month, a lot of page travel data, a lot of conversion data. You can make some really good mathematical assumptions based on that. When you don't have those kind of visitor flow and big marketing budgets, it can get harder, and you have to make some more inferential kind of decisions. And I also find that you need to be running multiple marketing platforms. This is something that really starts to benefit you when you're running retargeting, search, email, and you start to look at it collectively. That's when you can really execute against your buyer profiles using all this data.
And at the end of the day, I make the point here that any robot tool still needs a human to manage it. You need that human element.
Score one for the humans.
Score one for humans. We also need people. People are the only ones who can generate highly targeted keywords for buyers and manage them intuitively. A robot cannot write a compelling ad that thinks like a buyer. A human is the only one who can spot these classic paid search fails. If you've ever seen, typed the word baby into a search engine and seen an Amazon or an eBay ad come up that says, you can buy a baby on eBay.
Yeah.
These are classic, you can find them all over the web. These are things that people can do, but one person alone, people and agencies can do all these sorts of things. And a really important one here is, let's talk about enhanced campaigns for a second. All of the big bid management platforms, as soon as enhanced campaigns was announced, had to go out and rebuild their platforms. You don't have to build a new person when a big change happens for Google.
Yeah, if you follow Webmaster World or some of those big digital forums, people were in an uproar because major platforms like Marin and Kenshu and some of these had to do huge algorithmic rewrites to support the new enhanced campaigns.
But if you're working with an in-house team or an agency, it's expensive, it's complicated to hire. Do these people even live in the town you live in? If you want to have the diversity of strategy to manage complex e-commerce campaigns, you need to have a very large in-house team. Can you even afford that? And agency solutions, we love agencies, we work with agencies, but at the end of the day, the agency model is outdated because most agencies make their money by charging a % of your spend, which means that they are motivated to spend your budget.
Not necessarily to drive results.
Not necessarily to drive your results.
This really offended me when I went out to figure out how to do my AdWords. I got a couple quotes from agencies, and they said, oh, yeah, we'll do it all for you. And you just pay us 25% of your spend. And regardless of results, they were just motivated to spend as much money as humanly possible on PPC because they would get paid 25% of it with no regard to conversion at all. And I just can't believe that they got away with that, frankly.
Bill, we hear this story all the time. It's really common. So let's talk about the ideal scenario. It would be this beautiful combination between automation and people. So you could have a team of PPC experts doing the work on your behalf. They would work with your in-house person who would manage strategy. They'd be paid based on their performance, meaning that you would set goals and they would get you results. And your in-house team would have control over their strategy and visibility into all the data.
This is why I originally came to Trada as an advertiser. I started off doing all my PPC myself, and I didn't know anything about PPC. I purchased PPC for Dummies. I think there's one of those big yellow books, PPC for Dummies, and I read it, And, I was writing my own ads, and I was coming up with my own keywords, and it was taking me, 10 hours a week, and I still knew I was screwing it up. And my CPAs were not what they should be, and I think the best I could do it myself was I got my CPA to $30 for one of the products, which when the product sells for $35 is not great. So I knew I was getting outclassed. Not to mention it was taking up 10 hours of my week, which I really needed to be spending on product development and marketing and other parts of my business that I'm good at and that my expertise is in. So I came to Trada, and not only do I now not spend any time on AdWords besides occasionally logging in and communicating with my optimizers, they took my CPA from about $30 to about $12 or $13 in 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks I was with them. The automation was really key for me and frankly, even if they hadn't improved my CPA at all, to get it off my plate was critical to me.
Well, and again, first of all, thank you, Bill. You are such a good example of the type of customer that we work with the best. You're a business owner and you're very busy, and it's not to say that you weren't smart about running your paid search campaign. It's just that no one expects you to be an expert at running paid search when you're also an expert at running a company. I think I said the other day on our call, it's like expecting a scientist to also be the fastest runner. It's two completely different types of expertise. So if we can bring the expertise to you, there's sort of no reason to have to be able to do it yourself. So just to give you guys an idea of the way it works, Trada has a global community of certified paid search experts. When you partner with Trada, we do a great deal of research to understand what specifically we can do to help your business, and then we assign a team of highly specialized paid search experts to do the work on your behalf. And they sit on top of this giant marketplace that gives them the data they need to be successful. There is essentially a massive algorithmic solution that not only assigns the right people to work for you, but also gives them the data and the support they need to be able to make the decisions they need to make your campaign successful. And you get to see all of this data as well. It feeds into Google, Yahoo, and Bing. If you were concerned about adding Bing, or if you're struggling to manage two campaigns at the same time, we do all of that for you. The optimizers do all of the daily work. They create and test targeted ad copy, they do keyword lists, they manage bid prices, and they do this constant research and optimization over the lifetime of your campaign. We always say that Trada is a lifetime partnership. And you also have a dedicated account manager who works to help you with strategy and is your sort of liaison between you and your optimizer team. Now, we have tons of mechanisms in place to make sure that the optimizers do the work that you want them to do. The number one thing is that they are paid based on their performance. You work with us to determine a CPA price, and then they work to beat that price. It's as simple as that. And this is the sort of difference between us and the traditional agency model, is that they are charging a percent of marketing spend, so they are motivated to spend your budget. But at the end of the day, Trada makes money when we beat your goals.
And I think that part is really powerful. Obviously everything we've talked about in this webinar, you've now done the analysis. You understand the lifetime value of your customer. You want to get aggressive out there. You don't have the time and the resource. You come to Trada with an idea of what that LTV is, what a profitable, CPA target's going to be. We work to verify that we think that goal is achievable. We assign those optimizers based on their history, and they get to work generating those keywords, generating the ad copy, doing all the bid management, sitting on top of this marketplace platform that we've built for them. You retain all of your control. So you're looking at all that. You're approving the content. You feel like you've got enough hands-on without having to roll up your sleeves and do the actual dirty work of the search.